another chatty bed chilling with your friend at a sleepover kind of video. I actually have a headboard now. I just set it up today. It's not like the most secure, but I think it'll work. Also, because it's new, it kind of has, you know how like stuff from a box always has kind of a smell to it? I'm the worst at identifying those smells. This one, to me, it kind of has like a salty salmon smell. Like it's like a fish that my grandma would be eating. And it's not necessarily like a bad smell. Like I know like you would think like, oh, a fish smell is bad, but it's like that very like almost like lox, you know how it has like just like a nice like salty smell. So it's not bad, but it's also just like not what I want to be smelling when I'm going to bed. But I don't know. I definitely don't think it probably smells like that. I think any normal person would walk in here and say, that's crazy. It definitely smells like this other thing that a normal person would think, whatever. That tangent aside, today I'm going to be doing my channelversary video. Theoretically, I would have had this uploaded and filmed by July 7th, but I was kind of in like a bit of a filming slump earlier this month, so that didn't happen. So you're getting it now. But yeah, it's my channelversary, 1 year of YouTubing. I'm sure there is probably a tag I could do, but I don't know. I wanted to do something maybe a little bit less formal, something more me-based. So this is what you're gonna get. So to start off with, why do I even have a booktube? Why am I doing this? I think for me, it was just, I had a friend who like we would talk about books, and she was that friend who like, I would read a book, tell her it's amazing, give it to her. She would read a book, tell me it's amazing, give it to me. And we were just basically constantly reading books at different times and like having to wait years between being able to talk about it with each other. And I had always had something of an interest in kind of content creation, if you can call it that. So when I kind of had been reading consistently, I was like, I just need to talk about these books. I need to like share my opinions, even if it's to the vast, you know, gaping yaw of empty space that is YouTube. Like I just need to say my piece and get it off of my brain. And yeah, I also think too, when I like actually first made my first, like the first video that I made is not the first video. The first video that I posted is not the first video that I made. I had made several before that, but I just like kept being too nervous to like edit them. There was something about it I just didn't like. And so I kept deleting them and starting over and over and over again. And eventually like I don't know, like some stuff happened like personally, and I just sort of had the time and dedication to be like, no, I'm gonna sit down, I'm going to film this. And that was my first video, Something Unbelievable by Maria Kuznetsova. First video posted, and I'm still like really happy that that was one of the first videos that I posted, just because she's like a writer that like I'm not like following, but I'm like kind of following. Like I want to see what else she's coming out with, because the two stories that she's written, I feel like I have in some ways a connection, just also being a like Eastern European person who's like lived my life in America. Like just, you know, I can relate to a lot of the stuff that she's writing about, even if it's not like directly my experience. Yeah, so that is sort of how I got started, and I've continued to post. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. This is actually a notebook that I got specifically for like writing down video ideas and just anything related to booktube, but I don't like it. And the reason I don't like it is because the pages don't have a consistent, like half of the pages are lined, right? And then half of the pages are grid, and it just makes it very inconsistent for writing. Like I don't know, I would prefer if they were all grid. Like I actually do like the grid version better. And also I feel like for some reason I don't like writing with a thin like a thin marker on these or a thin pencil or pen, I feel like they need like a Sharpie quality thickness. So whatever, I won't probably repurchase a book like this in the future for my video planning, but I will get through this. I'm trying not to be like a stationery hoarder as I have been in the past. So you will be finished and then you will be replaced. I'm sorry. Okay, so what have I learned from BookTube? Let's actually get back to the point of this video. What have I learned from doing BookTube? What have I discovered about myself as a reader? You know, etc., etc. So I feel like the first thing that I've learned is that I would like to be a more careful reader, but at the same time, I think that I don't necessarily like, I think sometimes like I just kind of catch a feeling about a book, and I feel like what I like about a book is what it makes me think about bigger and larger topics. So I do want to get a little bit better about being more present, being less kind of get through it, because I am quite a fast reader, but like I want to be sitting there with every, you know, single sentence, and that will definitely take practice. And that's not to say like I do appreciate very good writing, and I do notice it, but I think that I am noticing it while on the bullet train through the book, and that's not because like I'm trying to even like meet some kind of audacious goal I set for myself. Like I am, I think, a very, like I like to consume things quite quickly. Like even like most YouTube videos, I watch at 2x speed. If I listen to an audiobook or a podcast, I'm listening to it 2x speed. If I'm reading, like I am one of those people who can read a couple hundred pages like no problem, especially if I'm really into a book. Like I would always joke when I was in high school that I wouldn't read for a couple months and then I would pick up a book and I would read like 300 pages in the blink of an eye. And so I think that I just need, like I've gone to a point where I'm like not necessarily reading 300 pages every couple months. I'm like consistently reading, and that's slower, but it's still happening. But I think I'm kind of learning, you know, how to balance the speed of my reading with the desire to read more carefully and perhaps more analytically. So I will say like that's probably the biggest thing that I've like truly learned about myself. I feel like everything else is like more like video based, which I don't think is the more exciting thing about having a channel. I think it's like your reading experience, right? And so I'll move on to like how has my reading itself changed, because that's what I feel like I've learned about myself as a reader and like what I'm noticing about myself. What has actually changed about my reading? And for this, I would say my reading has changed in that now I'm much more interested in planning out how I'm reading and in like creating patterns. So if you are like in my channel or if you've come from another video, I'm doing a Slavic Summer / Eastern European été for myself, and the goal, right, to read more works by Eastern European and Slavic writers. And so I feel as though I'm much more interested in that, right? I'm much more interested in creating these bases and like understanding the landscape. How about that? Like understanding the landscape of a literary era or of certain like not ethnicity, like a certain group, how they write. And I think that for a lot of people, they do this through like reading the classics, but like I don't know, I'm sure I'll read the classics, but I just don't have like that particular desire at this moment to like read Victorian literature. Like that's not what I want to do. I want to kind of maybe take it from this position. I also think generally I am more interested in 20th century lit. So yeah, like for example, I feel like at this point I've read not a lot, but a not insignificant number of post-war Japanese writers. And I feel like I've learned something about the like very widespread popular books from that era. And so I'm trying to, I think, establish that with other writing. Like similarly, like even like a lot of contemporary female Japanese writers. I feel like I'm learning something about what that landscape looks like now. And so I'm wanting to do that with other works. I'm wanting to establish this baseline, right? And to me, like, it's really about that, right? It's about weaving together a personal understanding, a personal background for myself. I think you get what I mean, right? Like this context, this story, this tapestry of a background, which I can then reference when reading in the future. That's what I feel like my reading has really changed. Yeah. So what has been the most fun that I've had filming a video? I've actually was thinking about that, and I'm gonna like look through my videos that I've done, because I feel like there's gonna be more than one that was just really fun to do. Oh, I definitely feel like my Half Moon Bay vlog was kind of fun. I don't know, I'll get more into that later. I really liked filming my ASMR video, and I definitely hope to do more of those in the future. I also really liked my April reading wrap-up, which I only read, I think maybe 2 books in April, but that was something where I had read a story, and then I felt like I had so many thoughts and opinions that just sort of generated from that. And I think those are my favorite videos to make too. It's when, yes, I can like summarize a book for you, but I can also just have like a discussion, like what would I talk about with a friend over a cup of coffee if I was talking about this book, and this is the conversation I would have. So I feel like that's that's like one of my favorite ones that I've done. Yeah, my Providence, Rhode Island vlog was really fun, because like I had a friend who was like really involved in that, and so it was, shout out to you, that was really cool to do. And so for my last question, I've tabled a couple of things, and I think this is where they're gonna come in. What do I want to do going forward? What are my sort of visions for my channel in the future? And I think, firstly, I think I definitely want to get into more of like a personal schedule with this. I feel like I get a schedule, and then like just life happens, and that sucks, but like life's always gonna happen, right? So if I can really build in time, I think that'll make it easier. I have all these ideas that are slightly more creative that I want to do, where they're just kind of like, I don't know, for example, I have them written down here. I have like books for baddies. I have a video idea about main character energy. I have a video idea about like, I want to do these things where it's like basically like kind of like a lunch date, where I don't know if I want to be like a mukbang, but something where like I'm sitting down, and rather than talking about a specific, book, I want to talk generally about something I've noticed in literature or in like whatever, booktube or something, right? Like just not a book inspired, like inspired by reading but not by books. There we go. Also, like I said, I had so much fun doing this most recent Slavic Summer video that's not out yet, but will definitely be out by the time that this goes out. I had so much fun doing that I really want to try doing more videos which are kind of more exploratory, more like doing something associated with the book that I'm reading about, like, I don't know, if it's about a painter, I go to an art museum or something, like, I think that's really silly, but something along those lines where I kind of, if sitting here and just talking to you is like 2D, I want to take it 3D, and I think my challenge with that is that I don't exactly love vlog formats of videos. The types of vlogs that I like are the ones that don't have a lot of dead air, where it's just like very pretty imagery with music in the background. I don't really watch that, so I don't really want to make that. Also, I don't have an aesthetic eye, so it wouldn't even be like that good if I did do it. But also, the other kind of vlogs that I like are people who are like sweeping their house or just doing the most like mundane things. Like, I love very just kind of cozy, comforting, like let's do chores together type videos, and I have an idea for that I just haven't been able to like figure out how I want to set up yet. So yeah, I think I want to do that. I want to get more, oh my goodness, sorry, my mom knitted me a blanket, but like some of the little blue fluffs from the blanket fluff off, and then I always think that there's like a bug, but it's just the little blue fluffs from the blanket. But like I was saying, I want to like figure out how to get, you know, more three-dimensional with the types of videos that I'm creating. I really want to go beyond just the limit of like me talking in front of a background and holding up a book. So yeah, those are kind of my goals for the future. I don't think I have any goals really in terms of like subscribers or anything. Like I don't really care. Not that I don't care, right? Like I definitely want to still like cultivate a relationship with people who are watching my videos, or I want to like cultivate a relationship with other booktubers, but it's not something where it's like I would rather have like 300 people who are like actually interested in what I'm having than like a lot of people who, you know, don't care, right? I feel like everyone's like that. Like everyone wants that. Yeah, and then also I want to get better about kind of just being more consistent, because I feel like I psych myself out and I make so many ideas and I'm just like not able to follow through with them as much as I would like to. So figuring out a way just to be maybe like a little bit more consistent. And I feel like I should post shorts or whatever, like, yeah, they're called YouTube shorts, shorts or something, and maybe just playing like the YouTube game a little bit more, posting on a community tab or something. Like maybe I should get more into that. Like, I don't know, I've been thinking about like, should I take like video editing classes? Like, should I learn how to do really cool transitions and stuff like that? But I don't know, I think I just want to kind of keep this low key for now, and then once I get really like, I don't know, once I get like really into it, I think I can go there. Like once I feel like I've perfected the styles of video that I like making, I can go and then be like, okay, how do I, you know, go above and beyond now that I know the kind of content I like to make, if that makes sense. But yeah, so that's kind of the end of this video. I know it was very chatty and very, hopefully, best friend sleepover energy was provided to you. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know if any of like the video ideas I had, if they piqued your interest or whatever it's called, if you would want to see any of those, and like even what kind of videos you prefer, what kind of videos you would like to see. I feel like, you know, that's always kind of such a cool, like, just to hear people's different opinions, right? Like we all like seeing different things. What do you like seeing? And yeah, I can't wait to see you in my next video, and I can't wait to make my second channelversary video. That'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, and I really think that this is something that, like, I don't know, like I don't think I could see my life without like booktube anymore, like being a part of it and creating videos on it. Like this just feels like a part of who I am now. And okay, then I said this video's over and I'm still rambling, but like I did something in the past with like makeup, and it was kind of this idea of like trying to be more mindful about my purchases and like project panning, if you even know what that is. I'm not going to get into it now, but I found myself like so anxious, and I like was thinking about makeup more than I had thought about beforehand, and I was like, oh, I'm doing this because I want to buy and purchase less makeup, and yet now makeup is like consuming, like I would fall asleep thinking about the makeup I'd wear the next day, and I had not done that beforehand. And so I was like, I thought I was fighting these consumerist urges in me, but yet I was making them bigger, and it stressed me out to the point where I had to quit. Like I was like I had no business being that anxious over something that does not play like that big of a role in my life. And I feel like what I really love about booktube is that this has not made me anxious. This has not made me stressed. I feel like happy and excited, and it's a good time to do this. And even when I am like a little bit stressed, I'm like, it doesn't stop me from wanting to read. It doesn't stop me from wanting to like think of video ideas and create new video ideas. It maybe stops me from filming for a day or editing a video, or maybe I delete a video and refilm it 3 times, but it's never like a I can't do this. It's like a I want my quality to be so good, you know? And so I think in that way, I think this is just, it's kept me going for a passion of mine, which is reading, and it's allowed me to be creative in my reading, and my expression of my reading. So yeah, sorry, I had a tangent. But thank you for being here, and I can't wait to see you in my next video.